Nice and slow, nice easy crawl. We've had the Winnebago Revel for only 3 days now, and this is my first experience with the van on a primitive 2-track. Right off the bat, I love the elevated ride height, the enormous greenhouse, and the commanding view of the road. The 4-wheel drive and low-range 4-wheel drive systems are simplistic. They're activated simply by the touch of a button. The gear reduction offered by the low range in the Sprinter is not nearly as granular as that of the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, so that's quite alright because we're not going to be doing any rock crawling with it. But for the degraded track with occasional rocks and some mud that does not require much ground clearance, it seems to handle the trail with grace and aplomb. But driving it through the backcountry feels like a bizarre combination of four-wheeling and driving a moving truck full of furniture. Not that we couldn't squeeze a van through here, but it's getting a little bit rough and a little bit narrow. So this is a type of terrain on which we plan to draw the line, sideline the van, and use the Jeep to do what it does best. Show getting very steep, so I don't imagine it continues.
I'm looking down. Ooh, this is gonna be
Oh wow.
Yeah, stop. Oh, this is awesome.
This is why we explore. I've been living in my orange Jeep since early 2017, and it is now early 2021. And as the past 4 years progressed of living in an SUV, I've been longing for greater creature comforts and more living space, but without giving up the high mobility and the portable form factor of the Jeep. Given my style of backcountry exploring, which often involves me squeezing the Jeep down narrow and extremely degraded tracks, I don't think there is a single vehicle, for my personal interests, that can serve as both a living platform and as an adventure mobile without sacrificing either comfort or capability. Thus I resolved to keep my orange Jeep, which is proven, it's paid off, it's tailored to suit, and it's extraordinarily good at what it does. Of course, I still longed for more living space, and honestly, a place to come home to at the end of the week, and that is where the Revel comes in. The Revel isn't going to go quite as far into the backcountry as Orangey, and while we might use both vehicles in tandem from time to time, this is going to serve mainly as a base camp or a mobile HQ. So this is a home base that we can position almost anywhere. In fact, I'm set up in the corner of a cornfield right now. Why did I opt for the Winnebago Revel instead of any other vehicle? First, before I go on, I have to say that I'm approaching this as a complete layman. I have never owned a van before, I've never owned a diesel vehicle before, I've never owned an RV, and I'm not familiar with a lot of the systems. I have a basic understanding because of the years on the road, but I'm pretty much learning as I go, and I'm by no means an expert. In fact, just this morning, I was watching YouTube videos trying to figure out how to use the toilet system for the first time. I went with the Winnebago Revel because I wanted a van. I wanted that interior layout and form factor. In the case of the Revel, there's good availability across a North American dealer network, and it is turnkey. You can leave the dealer lot, and it is ready for adventure. The Revel is equipped with a 21-gallon water tank, which is located on the passenger side rear quarter inside the cargo area of the van. A diesel-powered heater, which is turning away right now at 72 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is very efficient, just as efficient as the Webasto in the Jeep, except this has been working consistently. There's also hot water, a water pump to make it pressurized, a shower, and a flushable cassette toilet. There are 2 lithium batteries located in the cargo area on the driver's side, and they provide 3,200 watt-hours of electricity, 230 watt solar, and a 2,000 watt inverter. I wrote a short list of pros and cons, and the pros are that it's a turnkey, off-grid ready adventure mobile. It has decent 4-wheel drive mobility. There's a lot of Facebook groups and forums that you can tap into for advice if you have problems with any systems, or it's a great place to see customizations that other Revel owners made to their own vans. There's a decent aftermarket for parts and accessories for the Sprinter and the Revel itself that open the door to a lot of customizations and potential improvements. And of course, since it's a Winnebago, there are dealers all around the country, and if any of the Winnebago systems need serviced, I can take it to one of the dealers. The cons are that it requires DEF and ultra-low sulfur diesel, which isn't a big deal here in the States, but from what I've read online, those things can be scarce in some international regions. Will not fit in a shipping container because it's too tall. And the last con is financial obligation. An RV loan. In 20 years, this puppy will be mine. I think one of the biggest challenges with the Winnebago Revel is finding a place for all of your stuff. Now this is cavernous compared to my orange Jeep, but in my orange Jeep everything has its place. And this, well, that's not the case here. There's decent accommodations for cookware, but in the context of full-time travel, there's not a good place for wardrobe, tools, adventure gear, odds and ends like water fill hose, electrical hookups, firewood. I just don't know where to put all this stuff. So that's the biggest thing that's going to need to be addressed. The shower and bathroom stall does have bamboo shelves in it, which allows it to double as a closet. Except whenever you want to use the facilities, you have to move all of that stuff out. And then when you're done, move it all back in again. So for full-time travel, that's a lot of gear shuffling just to use the bathroom. And that's not going to work. Right now, all my clothing is in a big yellow duffel bag. But what I'd like to do is install a fixed cabinet or storage system that houses all of our clothing, adventure gear, and whatnot. Winnebago, if you're watching, you did a phenomenal job packing a lot of living comfort and functionality into a short wheelbase Sprinter. So far, I absolutely love this vehicle. On that note, there is room for improvement. Although this is an extraordinary vehicle for touring and residing in the backcountry for periods of time, there are low-hanging components both on the driver's side and the passenger side that might be a hindrance when driving over rugged terrain. These bulky running boards, for instance. They are indeed very nice for ingress and egress, and the underlighting for finding your way at night is a nice touch. However, I personally would have preferred if these were optional, just for a little extra ground clearance beneath the rocker panels. There are also some other components that are low-hanging and extremely vulnerable. On the driver's side, the heater hose exhaust, the gray water tank, and the gray water tank drain. And on the passenger side, this rerouted side outlet exhaust which drops down right in front of the passenger rear tire. When we're exploring primitive roads, and it doesn't matter what vehicle, this is a general rule of thumb, we want to always put our tires on the tallest rocks. That way, the entire chassis of the vehicle comes up, and it makes the undercarriage components less prone to coming in contact with the terrain. This side outlet tailpipe and the U-bolt right here are only a matter of inches off the ground, and this is exactly the line that I'd want to take to drive over tall rocks. So this is a problem. Again, Winnebago, no one expects the Revel to be a recreational off-road vehicle, but you built a phenomenal backcountry explorer, and there's room for improvement here. There's room for innovation. It is a lovely day. It's a little bit brisk out and windy, but the sun is making an appearance, and that is a nice change of pace. I've been so focused on sharing the van with you that I made no mention of where I am or what I'm doing. But first of all, it is the first episode of January 2021. Happy New Year, everyone. We picked up the van in Albuquerque, took a few days to acquaint ourselves with it, and then I immediately drove it back east to visit family and also to get some accessories for it at OK 4-Wheel Drive. More on that stuff to come, but right now I'm camped on a friend's property in western New Jersey which is the corner of a cornfield and also this beautiful deciduous setting. After my work is done at OK Four-Wheel Drive, my plan is to head back west. My orange Jeep is currently being serviced in Prescott, Arizona, where it's getting a slew of repairs and also a pneumatic sway bar disconnect system. Getting my Jeep back is my top priority, and here I am, 1,300 miles away. I've got a lot of ground to cover between here and there. Up until this point, you might have been wondering, well, how do you cook in the van? And the 2021 Winnebago Revel comes with this portable induction cooktop. In previous model years, the cooktop was built into the countertop, but for the 2021 model year, they made it portable and stored it in this drawer. This is my first time using Induction, and I didn't know anything about it until now. In fact, I still don't understand it whatsoever. All I know is you need special cookware for it to work. You can't put any pot or pan up here and expect it to heat up. It has to be special induction cookware that possesses certain magical properties. We got this nice 10-piece cook set from Amazon.com. However, I ordered the wrong part number. This is not induction cookware. So I need to return this. This will not work on this unit. There's an identical 10-piece cook set with the suffix IND at the end of the SKU, and I ordered the wrong one. One reluctance I had about buying a Winnebago is that it is a mass-produced vehicle. And my assumption is, and this might be an unfair assumption, but because it's mass-produced, quality and fit and finish might be adversely affected. Outwardly, I'm pleased with the quality. The cabinetry is all sturdy and well built. Everything is symmetrical, the control panel, the outlets, and the vents. You do find things that are a little when you start to dig a little deeper, look under panels and seating. In fact, this plastic covering over the B-pillar was trimmed up here to accommodate the cabinetry. And they concealed the cut by inserting this foam upholstered pillow in the crevice. It's crude, and it gets the job done. I wouldn't have discovered it if I hadn't been poking and prodding. In fact, this piece right above it is of the same design. The box underneath the rear bench seat contains the Timberline heating system, controls for the hot water heater, and wiring. It's certainly not an elegant arrangement. You don't open this and be like, wow, that's tidy. It is not, but it certainly works. It's not perfect, and it certainly can't go to all the places that my orange Jeep can go, but I love it, and in a lot of ways, this is my dream vehicle, especially after living on the road for 4 years. I didn't show you all of the details about the Revel because I haven't had it long and I don't have that much experience with all the systems yet. But I expect to have it for a long time, and I plan to show you a lot more of the vehicle in the coming weeks, months, and even years. It's nice to have a campfire, and this is a bit of a double-edged sword, but one thing that I like about my orange Jeep is that it feels like you're outside most of the time. In the Revel, once I shut the door, I'm enclosed in a big silver metal box. And granted, it's very comfortable. I've got the heat on, I've got music playing, but it causes me to feel very disconnected and detached from the wilderness and the place that I'm in. Sometimes that's a welcome feeling, and other times you just need to be outside. I'm going to call that a wrap. From here, I'm going to head out in the morning and get the show on the road. But I hope you enjoyed learning about the new van, and thank you for following along. I wish you all a happy and healthy new year. I'll see you again soon.